What's the worst thing you've accidentally sent to someone while your phone was in your pocket? Oh god. Okay. I sent a WhatsApp voice message of me yelling about wanting to kiss my best friend to my uni group chat. We had a girl of the same name, so it was pretty awkward. But that's how I came out as bi to 20 people who absolutely didn't care. Holy shit, I'm laughing and crying for you at the same time. One time I was really tired and accidentally sent my project group chat a message meant for my mom. So they just saw, "Hey mom, where can I find the laxatives you told me to get earlier," without context. Didn't find out until my phone started buzzing like crazy. Lol, what dude, wrong number, aisle 5. You wanted to relieve all your shit but ended up getting a lot more of it instead. Accidentally left Snapchat open. Sent a few snaps of a black screen, some unintelligible messages, and location requested my ex. I butt called my mom while I was at work and all she heard was dare me to use this broom as a dildo from my coworker and yeah? Thanks for the laugh. Somehow I posted on my Snapchat story while my phone was in my pocket. It was nothing but a black screen, which without context seemed like a weird cry for help. My ex asked if everything was okay and I had to explain I just butt posted. Goddamn, that was embarrassing. An old phone had an emergency call option on the lock screen. I guess in case someone did know how to unlock your phone but needed to dial 911. I accidentally called 911 half a dozen times from the phone bouncing around in my pocket when I was mowing grass. I really hope the cops pulled up and told you, "Next time you pull this stunt your ass is grass." Quote. That would have been great, but the cops never pulled up on me anywhere. I always had headphones in, listening to music, so as soon as I heard my phone making a call, it was "oh shit, not again," followed by scrambling to get my phone out and having to explain to the 911 operators that I'm incompetent. When I was in middle school, a kid pocket dialed 911. This was pre-smartphones, so I guess he had it on speed dial during a game of dodgeball. So the cops heard a bunch of kids screaming at a school while dodgeballs went thump 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 against the gym floor. I accidentally sent the entire Declaration of Independence to my crush. How in God's name does this happen? Not really sent, but one day I was meeting with my coworkers without our boss around. Sometimes we'd use this opportunity to discuss things our boss had done. This time, we didn't, even though we went off topic for the meeting. After the meeting, my boss told me that I had accidentally pocket dialed "Hi Monsieur" when he realized what was going on. He didn't hang up, but just listened in. Had we been talking behind his back, he would have heard everything. I've accidentally sent an article about a man who was masturbating while running from the police to my teacher. Yikes. How TF. Wasn't a pocket text, but my mom was chewing me and my sister out for something and I texted my sister about how crazy she was being. But when I hit send, I realized I had actually sent that text about my mom to my monsieur when I heard her phone ping. I just about died. Everything felt really cold all of a sudden. Were you able to steal her phone and delete it? Damn, what happened afterwards? Can't you tell? OBVs, they dead. I still have absolutely zero idea how this happened. But I once took about 100 to 150 photos of the inside of my pocket. I was wearing blue shorts, so they were all just variations of creases of blue. Then I managed to send all of them to my computer somehow. One of the weirdest thing I've ever done. HSHKYZGRN now won't load DBDJSJ. Same. Sure, there are already roughly 10,000 nominations like this. But accidentally sent to the GF's grandmother, the sweetest little old lady of all time. A pic of some cosplay porn wherein a woman dressed up as a really hideous spider and performed fellatio on a monstrous, impeccably erect phallus with her fangs hanging down and her 44 eyes goggling everywhere on commie. Spider silk festooned over everything. It was a cut and paste error. Oopsie daisy. What was her reaction? She was totally sweet about it. I obviously had to do some fast explaining about it, but she was totally willing to accept any explanation. She had a very tolerant "oh kids today" attitude about things. Accidentally sent "I love you" to my enemy. Said he loved me back. Didn't realize till I got home that it wasn't my mot monsieur. You need to explain. Did you get married after that? Not exactly a pocket message. But when I was younger I Skyped with my class and my dad came in. So I turned my laptop off. Little did I know that I actually had to mute it to prevent people from hearing. Anyways, my dad has the typical puberty and girl chat with me. Well, my whole class, including some girls that my dad mentions in the talk, I know have social anxiety. Spells and incantations for those who can cast them. I once accidentally pocket Ubered while at work. I'm a valet too, so I saw the guy in my driveway looking confused. I didn't see until later that I had a canceled trip from work. It wasn't a phone in the pocket, but a similar type occurrence. I used to teach at a small private school. One day the guidance counselor bursts into my classroom. Monsieur during class pulls me out and exclaims, "What is your problem?" Quote, I was staring at her dumbfounded thinking, WTF is she talking about? I ask her what she means and she shows me a text that says don't give a shit. She says, I texted you about some new policy, don't remember what, and you said this to me. I assured her I had no clue what was going on. Turns out that I had previously switched plans and gotten a new number. She had been texted some random person and instead of letting her know that she had the wrong number, he or she had simply replied with "don't give a shit." I had to physically pull out my phone and show her the new number and dial it and let it ring before she finally accepted the fact that it wasn't me. This was an interesting day. Sounds like a Karen. The iPhone has a feature where, when texting, you can turn the phone sideways and draw doodles and such to send to friends. I almost never use it, but when the feature first came out I was trying it and, being the mature 40-something single parent that I am, drew a cock and balls and sent it to my best friend. Because we're classy. An NBSP. This feature came out 5 or more years ago and I've sent maybe 3 other doodles. What I wasn't aware of was that the phone stores them all in case you draw something that you need to send often. I guess there does not appear to be an expiration date on this history. Once you draw it, it's there until you delete it. An NBSP. 2 weeks ago I got out of my car and began walking across the parking lot at work. Answered a couple of texts I'd gotten during my commute and placed my phone in my pocket. By the time I'd gotten to my desk I was receiving a phone call from a very confused, slightly angry colleague who lives in another region, asking me why I had sent her a drawn dick pic. I've accidentally ordered 2 lifts in a row from my pocket somehow. When I pulled my phone out I had several missed calls and the Lyft app was open and has 2 canceled rides. I was charged for 2 cancellation fees but was able to get 1 refunded. 15 years ago I called my mom and left a voicemail about buying weed from a dude at the bar. Location requested a girl who thought I was stalking her. A never-ending pile of just MS. I fell asleep while texting a friend and there was one single message that never seemed to end full of M's. I turned into a microwave in my sleep. Tons of death threats to my ex-wife. I accidentally called on my dance group in morning and others were in lesson. I sent a pocket voice message to my group chat of 5 people whilst I was talking to my cousin about BNHA. I mentioned no Choco or Iraka and he replies with OMG I love her, she's so sexy, right? The recording cut after 30 seconds of silence after that. Accidentally called my mom in college once and she could hear me in class. I sent them, happy cake day, for you. Not well in my pocket. But still, our dog is on medication for heart arrhythmia and needs to take pills with exact 12H in between. My husband left in the evening for sports and I wasn't sure if our dog took the monsieur, so I texted, "Did the old bastard take his pills?" Straight to my boss, a man in his 50s with some medical issues. A friend and I were having a serious conversation about somebody else at work who had made some mistakes. Somehow my phone was on in my pocket and sent the whole conversation to another coworker via Voxer. Fortunately, that guy was cool about it. Back in the summer of 2014, I was acting as a sort of tour manager for a visiting US band. I'm in the UK and no, you probably wouldn't have heard of them. It's a bit of a complicated story, but for part of the UK tour they actually stayed at my house and I drove them to several gigs and dealt with some of the admin. The tour organizers were in the US and Cyprus and I was in contact with both of them. Told you it was complicated. At one gig, which was the one that I had helped to organize, we had got to the venue, done the sound checks and were socializing with some of the audience when my butt decided to use my phone to post to the book of faces that I was at the local hospital. Within minutes I got people coming up saying, "What's going on?" and the tour organizers frantically messaging me, thinking one of the band was hurt or something, and people on my FB were dropping messages at great speed wanting to know what the hell was happening faster than I could get onto it and reply. Smartphones not so smart then. Once I realized what had happened, I had to quickly reply to the organizers and post on FB to assure everybody that the band and I were absolutely fine, not anywhere near the hospital, and it was all my butt's fault. After everybody had recovered, we had a good laugh about it. Of all the places my butt decided to post, it chose the one guaranteed to cause the most panic across the world. The gig was excellent, by the way. Glad it all worked out. Sounds like it made the night though. I've heard this story before in person from someone who said it was a friend or a friend it happened to. A lot of random words with the name of my ex mixed in there somewhere. Guess the phone was auto-completing from the space button being pressed. My mom thought I was sending cryptic messages for help. My screen wasn't locking for some reason and it started up a WhatsApp chat with about 8 people, including a bad Tinder match I had ghosted, my union rep, and one of my brothers. On my old slide phone, the touch screen was pressure activated rather than capacitance. This means that if you held down on a certain spot on the screen it would repeatedly send blank messages to the same person. This happened multiple times to different people. I once accidentally called my old boss whilst catching chickens that needed rehoming. I'm fairly certain all he heard was "fuck, shit, you cunt." I won't count on that reference. But dialed my phone to be on silent and missed a bunch of texts from my girlfriend. She asked me a few hours later if I was okay. I sent her something like IIJHTFVJHLHGTJ. She asked what was going on. Then I sent another 2 messages like it. She almost called the police, lol. Last summer we ran a house while we were going. My friend's phone accidentally opened. The person called was landlady. We were talking about her daughters. Rug.SG, ZCM, SCAACGEDCRH, and AQR, BVNGKS, Dance, DJKE, Naughty, usually something along those lines. Sent lyrics of a Daniel Caesar song to 2 different groups, 100 plus people, a couple friends, and someone I bought stuff from. Monsieur, thank goodness for, delete for others. JGXITSJTSNVIH. I have shared my location so many times to random people. Once it was a customer I had no reason to meet. He asked if I was up for it, which thinking back he may have thought I was interested. But I'm hetero, so no. I told him it was my pocket. He was like, sure. Quote, not necessarily the worst though. It was fun more than anything. Okay. To be fair, the phone was tossed aside with clothes we weren't wearing, not in a pocket. My wife accidentally called her coworker while we were having sex. We noticed while the call was still going. And we kind of think that the coworker intentionally stayed on the line because he is really creepy. You're only a lesbian because you haven't had my dick kind of creepy. Thankfully, that coworker ended up being fired for other reasons later on. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.